The wolves from Chernobyl have an altered immune system. They appear to have greater resistance to cancer. Wolves living in Chernobyl in the closed zone around the destroyed nuclear power plant are different from their cousins outside the zone. Scientists have determined that these changes primarily affect their immune systems and appear to increase the wolves' resistance to cancer. At the end of April 1986, after an unexpected loss of power during a safety test, the fourth unit reactor at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant melted down. The resulting steam released a wave of radioactive material that spread across Europe, contributing to health problems for thousands of people. This accident resulted in the largest release of radioactive material into the environment in history. However, nearly 4 decades after the accident, Chernobyl has become a haven for wild animals. Today, a diverse range of endangered species finds shelter here, including bears, wolves and lynxes. All because people left these areas due to radiation. Environmental contamination in Chernobyl is ubiquitous, but its long-term ecological consequences are not always clear and are still poorly researched. So far, very little research has been conducted on the evolution of organisms chronically exposed to ionizing radiation, such as those in the Chernobyl zone. The exclusion zone around the Chernobyl nuclear power plant covers 2,600 square kilometers in the Kiev and Zhytomyr oblasts. Kara Love, an evolutionary biologist and ecotoxicologist at Princeton University, went to Chernobyl with her colleagues in 2014 to visit her wife. Its goal was to investigate how wolves in Chernobyl survive and thrive despite multi-generational exposure to high doses of radiation. They took blood from a group of wolves and put on special collars equipped with GPS transmitters to track how and where they wandered in the zone. But the collars also had dosimeters recording the amount of ionizing radiation. Thanks to the collars, scientists had data showing in real time where the wolves were and what doses of radiation they were exposed to. This showed that Chernobyl wolves are exposed to radiation of more than 11.28 millirems every day throughout their lives, which is more than 6 times the permissible dose for humans. However, despite regular exposure to potentially lethal doses of radiation, the wolves appeared healthy, as if immune to its effects. Love also found that, unlike wolves living outside the exclusion zone, wolves in the exclusion zone have an altered immune system that resembles changes seen in cancer patients undergoing radiation therapy. Moreover, genetic analysis suggests that part of the wolf genome has developed some resistance to cancer. Gene changes were also observed among hundreds of semi-wild dogs living in the Chernobyl zone. Last year, another group of researchers showed that there are also significant genetic differences between 2 groups of animals living in different areas of the zone. Love's team in further work identified specific regions of the wolf genome that appear to be resistant to an increased risk of developing cancer. The discovery could also have implications for human health and could be used to identify protective mutations that could improve people's chances against cancer. Scientists hope that studying mutant wolves could lead to a cure for cancer. First COVID-19 and then Russia's aggression against Ukraine forced the team to interrupt their research. Scientists hope to return to work once the threat to researchers on site has passed. The team presented the results of their research at the Integrative and Comparative Biology's annual meeting conference, which took place last month in Seattle. Reading from a paper sheet is better than reading from a device screen. The development of technology affects many aspects of our lives. This also applies to the way we read. New research suggests that reading from an electronic device's screen is a less effective way of absorbing and retaining information than reading the old-fashioned way from a piece of paper. In today's world, we are surrounded by screens on all sides. We use monitors at work, after returning home from the TV sets. In the meantime, we read press releases or short posts on social media on smartphone screens. Although the basic process of looking at and interpreting the written word remains the same, reading on a screen is different from static reading from a page. Professor Eric Reichley of Macquarie University in Sydney, Australia, admits that when it comes to human brain development, reading is the newest addition to our communication arsenal. We didn't evolve to read, and the interplay of cognitive and visual systems we need to do so is incredibly complex, he says. Reading requires rapid shifts of attention and higher-level linguistic representations across a series of separate mental processes, all of which occur dynamically and each taking 60 to 200 milliseconds. Our language developed as speech, so speaking and listening come naturally, but reading only emerged about 5,500 years ago. We are not programmed to read, and it is something we have to learn and which we can only achieve through practice for several or a dozen years, he adds. Since reading is a relatively recent innovation, reading from a smartphone or computer screen is the latest innovation and involves new challenges for our brains. But it turns out that the content medium influences how we absorb and remember the content. A number of studies conducted in recent years suggest that when reading text on a screen, we understand less than if we read the same text on a piece of paper. This applies to different languages and writing systems. Scientists call this the screen inferiority effect, and indicate that when we read from a screen, we will probably get to the point of what we read, but we will have considerable difficulty recalling the details. When people are immersed in a narrative, such as a novel, reading from a screen is unlikely to make much difference to their understanding of the text, says Lily Yu of Macquarie University. However, comprehension declines when we use the screen to read an information-heavy text, such as a study guide. The amount of time you have also seems to matter, because when readers are under pressure to read something quickly while studying, their comprehension declines when tested on a screen compared to paper. The effect is more pronounced for less skilled readers. And one study also suggests that reading from a screen may make readers more susceptible to misinformation because they don't easily notice discrepancies in content, he adds. Why is this happening? This phenomenon is poorly understood and requires further research, but according to Lily Yu, It may be influenced by various factors such as screen brightness, eye fatigue, or reading comfort itself. Habits and associations may also have an impact. With the advent of smartphones, we began to associate screens with shorter, less serious content that encourages viewing. Trying to read something longer and with more complex language may cause concentration problems, especially on small screens. Electronic screens also have built-in distracting elements, such as notifications, animated ads, pop-ups, automatically playing videos or links with interesting stories trying to interest us. All of this competes for our attention. An exception when it comes to reading from a screen may be e-book readers, which are designed to reflect the experience of reading a book as closely as possible. Lifestyle and ubiquitous multitasking also contribute to difficulties in maintaining attention. When we watch TV or talk to someone, we often use our phones to browse social media or play a game at the same time. We don't devote our full attention to any of the classes, but the content we see on the phone is short and engaging. Emphasizes rightly. It's different with books. Books are stationary, nothing moves or flashes, so it's harder for them to hold our attention, says Reichley. Adding that the only way to get used to paying attention to books again is to spend more time reading them. Reichley recommends choosing an interesting book, sitting comfortably in a chair with good lighting, and minimizing other distractions such as phones and televisions. Concentration is a skill that needs to be rebuilt gradually, so you can't expect to regain it immediately, he says. It will take some time, but it is worth the effort, he emphasizes. Australian researchers published their findings in the journal, Trends in Cognitive Sciences.